Hi, this is Tina Lorenz, and welcome to the Renegade Boomer. I'm going to start doing video blog posts right here on the blog, so I hope that you'll enjoy them, blogging, and I hope that you'll leave some comments if you get some value out of this. So today's topic is mindset and manifesting and being entrepreneurial as a copywriter. How do those things connect? You might wonder if they're all related, and they actually are. I was on my own when I was 17 years old, literally climbed out a bedroom window, had to go to Seattle and figure out how to make a life for myself. And in that process, I went through a lot of tough stuff. My family life wasn't great, which is probably pretty obvious since I left when I was 17. And I went through a lot of difficult things along the way, including losing everything, being stalked by a psychopath, almost being murdered, and having to start my life completely over again. So what does this have to do with mindset and manifesting and copywriting, you might ask? Well, I didn't discover copywriting until I was past the age of 50. Now, no college degree, no previous experience, on my own since I was 17, never had done anything online, and never had been paid a dime to write anything unless you count writing a boring memo or a business letter as a secretary is getting paid, which was very little pay, I can tell you that. So one might look at that and say, hey, was that whole scenario going to help me do anything when I was past 50 to start a whole new online career and be successful at it? You might say your mindset could kick in saying, wow, I'm too old. I don't know enough. I couldn't possibly catch up. Who's going to pay any attention to me? I've come out of nowhere on the internet. But there's a line from the movie Moonstruck where Cher goes, snap out of it. And that's what I'd say to you if your brain gets caught up in the negative thinking and the old messages, the old way we talk to ourselves. And when I say old, I don't mean by age, I mean just the patterns, the habits of how we speak to ourselves, the mindset of the messages we give ourselves. And so what was necessary for me to become successful as a copywriter at that point in my life, starting absolutely from scratch, was a shift in mindset. And that's where the manifesting and vision boards and all of that comes into play, because when you create a picture in your mind and even visually in front of yourself about where you want to go, what you want to be able to accomplish, it's so much more powerful. It starts to become real. It's like we absorb it at some deeper cellular level. And that's what I did. I used my own computer really as my vision board. I put it for screensavers. I had images on the screen that I could look at. I had pictures close to my computer. I had things that I wanted to accomplish. And one of them was early on in my copywriting days, I wanted to go to this very exclusive seminar that was going on in New York City. And it was one of my copywriting heroes, a mentor who's become a friend, Gary Bencivenga, often called the greatest copywriter who's ever lived. And he's retired from copywriting for clients now, but he still has his own products and things that he markets. And that's a whole other story. But I wanted to go to his one and only marketing event. It was called the Bencivenga 100. It was in New York City. I was just getting started as a copywriter. I hadn't made all that much money yet. And the fee for this event was $5,000. Now, at that point in my copywriting career, you might as well have told me the fee was $5 million because I didn't have $5,000. And Gary did not take credit cards. That wasn't an option. You had to pay by check. It wasn't even an online thing. You literally had to send him a check for $5,000. And so I knew enough at that point to know that anyone who was anybody in copywriting was going to be at that event. And the reason it was called the Bencivenga 100 was because he was only going to allow 100 people to come to the event. Now, eventually it stretched out to maybe 125 because there were so many people that were very, very active in the world of online marketing and digital marketing. Big companies like Boardroom and Rodale and Agora who knew Gary's reputation very well, and they wanted to be at the event. And so he did squeeze in a few more, but I decided I was going to the event, and I had made enough at that point. I started raising my fees. Again, that's another story, but I got that $5,000. I made the $5,000 online so that I could go to the event. And I had actually Post-it notes all around my computer saying that I was going. I did it in the present tense, like going to Bencivenga 100. I'm going to be there. Can't wait to be there. I have $5,000 for the Bencivenga event. And I got it. And I went. But I also went with a mindset, a shift in mindset, that I wasn't just going to learn. I was going to network. I was determined that I was going to maximize my investment and make it pay back in a very big way. And by just talking to people there, by giving them suggestions, not by, eagerly grabbing and trying to hurry up and get a project, but by serving, by taking a mindset of service, that I would go to this event and I would serve in whatever capacity I could other people that were there by just talking marketing with them or talking about their copy. You know what happened? From that event, I left there with something like $80,000 in projects booked, and it turned into $100,000. I made 6 figures just from going to that event. Now, the reason I really feel behind me being able to do that was mindset, manifesting, pivoting how you think, growing that confidence, not allowing an old way of thinking that would have said, it's too late for you, you're too old, you don't have the experience, you've never done this before. I had never been to an event like this before, but I did it, and that's what happened. And I ended up getting eventually, I had a huge testimonial from Gary Bencivenga about my copywriting services, which is still on my letter at tinalorenz.com on my sales page. So it was a very smart investment in myself. I trusted enough to make that investment in myself, and I trusted in universal intelligence, just the whole energy of the universe, the energy of money to come together and work, and it did. So I'm just here today to remind you, and maybe pique your interest and get you thinking about how that kind of, how shall I call it, a practice, a shift in thinking can be so incredibly powerful. Now, here on the Renegade Boomer, you can get my free report about vision boarding and manifesting and how it can change your life. And I have more examples in there of things that I've done to have other types of custom RVs that have turned into mobile offices, living in Mexico, having a beautiful piece of property in Arizona. I want to remind you that I started with nothing. We sold a trailer in Arizona, in Yuma, Arizona. We had a mobile home, an old mobile home. And when I discovered copywriting and I made that mental shift and leap into believing that I could do it, I believed it so intensely that we sold that trailer just to have enough operating money so that I could begin. We had an old RV, we sold an old trailer, I got some money together, and I began my copywriting career. And in my first year, I made more than $100,000. I made multiple 6 figures in my very first year online. So I invite you to explore how the power of your mindset and manifesting can work for you, especially if you feel pulled to be entrepreneurial. You'd like to start a business online. You're not quite sure what to do, which might be why you're here on the Renegade Boomer. And I also want to remind you that you can sign up for Authentic Copy, which is my copywriting program, where I will teach you exactly the kinds of marketing that you need to know, the kinds of structure you need to know, the beginning elements where you can easily get to $3,000 to $4,000 a month right out of the gate. And I'll show you exactly how you do that. Now, I'm just going to stop right here and say I'm not promising what you're going to make. I cannot predict what you will make online. I cannot predict how successful you will be. I would never, ever presume to tell you what you will make. But I will show you how you can get to that entry-level point consistently, and then you can build from there if you're willing to put in the effort. Not saying you can do what I did. I'm probably kind of unusual in what I was able to do, but I have been in this business for over 14 years, and I can definitely teach you how you can join the ranks of online copywriters making a great income from home, from an RV, from any place you might want to be. If you have any questions about this, I hope you'll post them down below. I'd be happy to answer them for you. And I hope you enjoyed my first vlog for the Renegade Boomer. And I hope to see you here again. And please do give me the feedback if you enjoy watching the video instead of just reading a blog post. I hope you'll let me know, because I would love to do more for you and serve you in that way as well. So thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.